whole Snap walked into Target and they finally got the Venom wave, but it looks like...
and look at guys, we got anniversary.
It looks like the entire wave is here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, ice cream.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're missing one. Who are we missing? Venom. Venom's gone. Nobody wants Venom. I got Scream. I'm happy. Target, Plain Street.
And we have this pack too.
You got these cool packs. You got this one here again. You got this guy here. And you got the 10th anniversary Iron Man. Cool swords.
How are you doing as I check our connection? A couple messages for the viewers, so pick a section, have a seat. Yeah, I know this is different, quit with the questions. Allow me a second, please, to make my first impression.
YouTube, what's happening? Welcome back to another 978 Customs video. And right now I want to bring to you once again the Mangaverse Spider-Man and the Shadow Clan. I've done this before a while back. If you want to see the older ones, feel free to click that card. Someone inboxed me and asked to buy a custom, and then asked to buy another custom, and then after that asked if I would make these again. And I told him, hey, if you really want these two customs that you first asked about and you buy them, I'll make you the Shadow Clan. And he did just that. He bought the two customs, which were the Null and the Blue Steel Spider-Man. So once I knew how serious this guy was, I decided to go and make the Shadow Clan for him. Normally for commissions, one pays half up front to start, and then they pay the other half when it's finished. But because he paid for two customs prior to ordering the Shadow Clan, I went along and started the project before payment. And I started this maybe last Sunday, finished it up this Sunday. So in 7 days, I made all 5 of these guys. Shout out to DJ for ordering these commissions and grabbing a bunch of other customs off of me. In total, he grabbed 9 in a week. Shout out to you, hats off. You deserve these customs, and that's why I decided to make these 5. I'm like, this guy is really serious, and I'm really happy with how they came out. Slightly different from the previous Shadow Clan, and it was intentional because I wanted these to look better and more organized. If you're not familiar with the Mangaverse Spider-Man and the Shadow Clan, you should read up on it. It's a pretty cool story, 5 issues. I don't know if I remember correctly, but Bao is the leader of this Shadow Clan, and Bao's the biggest guy, and Mangaverse Spider-Man ends up fighting them, I think, for a few pages. I'm not sure, but they are teams. They end up linking up for whatever reason, and Bao takes Peter under his wing for a little bit. But again, I could be wrong. If I am, don't kill me. Peter Parker, Mangaverse Spider-Man in his Shadow Clan outfit. This is not the red and blue with the backpack. This is the black suit, which I think he does still carry the backpack. And now that I think about it, I don't have a backpack on this guy, and it's kind of bugging me. But to cover my own butt, I'm going to say I did that on purpose. No, I didn't. I probably forgot the backpack. I was working on all these guys at once. Personally, I don't think he needs a backpack. I think he looks fine. But if you want to make yourself one of these, all you need is a Miles Morales or an Ultimate Spider-Man. This was Miles Morales, and the hands belong to Captain Britain. I sculpted the wrists, the wraps around his wrists, just to kind of match the rest of the guys. And I'll tell you why I had to sculpt these. That's pretty much it. Simple recipe. Miles Morales, sculpt around the wrists. Big hands, sculpt on the balls, on the hands. And the rest is all painted. Shadow Clan member number 1 on the Pizza Spider-Man body. Looks pretty cool. Probably my second favorite or first favorite from the clan. It depends. There's 2 I love the most out of the 5. But I like the Pizza Spider-Man body. Pretty cool. Comes with swords and stuff, and a couple other accessories. I've been saying Pizza Spider-Man, but it's actually the Iron Fist from the Doctor Strange wave. I used this mainly for the hands and the wraps. I thought it was perfect because it fit the Mangaverse character, so I decided to use that. I have the Hawkeye belt and waist thing. I just cut off the top armor piece. The swords are from Deadpool, and the feet are Superior Venom shaved down toes. But here are the rest of the accessories. 2 grip hands for the swords. These come from Bullseye. Didn't do anything to them. They're just straight factory. Also, I might as well add the Iron Fist hands because I won't have any use for them, seeing this is the only body I have for Iron Fist. and then the flame effects that go over the fist. I figured maybe one of these clan members learned somewhere how to summon fire, and that's his power. Also, these daggers that come from Bullseye as well. But these hands do pop off like regular hands. They're just more at the wrist. And then you can pop in these fire hands like so. Put the flame over it and make it appear as if this guy can summon fire. I like it. Even though the fire effects may not fit the Shadow Clan members, but I think it looks cool. And it kind of separates this figure from the rest of them as well. So we also have this hand from Bullseye, the one with the daggers flying off the fingers. The peg fit perfectly. I didn't have to paint or modify the hand. To attach the hand, all you need to do is remove the fist from the wrist cuff and then insert that peg, then attach it back to the arm, and you should have those throwing daggers ready to go. I think this definitely works for the clan members throwing knives. I wish all the ninjas would be able to have a hand like this, but because the hand is so small and the peg is also small, it won't fit in a Hyperion body or anything bigger than that. So Bucky Cap, Pizza Spidey, perfect for those two. But I like it. It looks cool. What do you guys think about this one? The last one I made before this was actually dark skin. He had long sleeves, bare hands, and bare feet. The logo was different and the feet had wraps. These come from Deadpool. The katanas, they are glued in the peg in the back. I had to sculpt a little bit and glue it. I wanted to magnetize it, but I didn't have the time for it. But I put them inside these Bullseye open hands, the grip hands. They work well for that. So you do get those interchangeable hands as well, just specifically for these swords, pretty much. And last but not least is this dagger. This little knife you get with Bullseye as well. Got a bunch of these, so why not toss them to the Mangaverse Shadow Clan? Shadow Clan member number 2, and probably my favorite out of the 5 or 4, if you don't include Spider-Man himself. But it could be number 2. I don't know, I like this one and the one you just saw on the Pizza Spider-Man body the most. This being on a Bucky Cap, a little bigger than the Pizza Spider body. So if you want to make yourself one of these, all you need is an eel or any Bucky Cap. I would have used in Daredevil because it's all black and those wrist cuffs come from Daredevil, but I didn't use Daredevil because, as you guys know, mines came in backwards, abs were backwards, legs were swapped. See this video here and know what I'm talking about. But yes, an eel body, Daredevil wrists or lower arms and hands, Doctor Strange skirt, Spider UK head, and the Ninja Turtle Leonardo swords for the back. They're just pegged in. Very similar to the last one I made. The head was different. This was the symbiote Spider-Man head, so the eyes were bigger, and I painted the wrist wraps. The skirt had a little bit of gray in it, but pretty much same recipe. I like this version better, only because I feel like it's a bit cleaner, and I feel like the matte finish gives it a more defined look. The all-new, all-different Daredevil from the SPDR wave that I received was all beat up, so I kept those arms. In fact, the arms and the head and the boots were the only things I kept from that Daredevil. I knew they would come in handy for a future project, but I didn't know I'd use them so soon. Glad I actually got that Daredevil though. Even though you saw me break it, I knew what I could salvage from it, so I wasn't too upset. But he does have some interchangeable hands. He has that Bullseye dagger throwing hand, and then another grip hand. Both left hands. If you wonder why he has another grip hand, is for the swords on his back. Those grips are pretty big, and you can fit them in the Daredevil hands, but you may scrape off some paint because they like a small grip. So what I will do is put these swords on the Bullseye hand, because that's not white paint, that's actually white plastic mold from the factory, but you can put it in there. I'm not going to do it now. These are the katanas I would prefer you to put inside the Daredevil hands. They fit better and they won't cause any paint rub. These swords are from, I believe, Mega Block Ninja Turtles. The really cool ones, like the black and white comic style Ninja Turtle ones. So they're like metallic swords. They're pretty cool. They look small, but they do fit. They do feel like tiny daggers. They're almost the size of Elektra size So, and he has another knife and a tiny sai from Raphael. The sai is kind of useless, but I feel like it could be like a throwing sai. Just like the last clan member, you can pop this hand right off and put in the throwing hand, and it blends in really well. Even though the hand isn't sculpted with wraps, it blends in because it's white on white, so it looks good. It just doesn't have the flesh tone fingertips.
For articulation purposes, I'd like to show you the head does go up, down, left, and right. If you want to lift the shoulder ball, it goes all the way up. Yes, sir, down it goes too. You can get this double jointed elbow, but because of those wristbands, it kind of hinders a little bit. You can do that rotation at the shoulder now here. Yeah, you can twist the waist a little bit, goes up and down on the crunch there, sir. And then the legs do kind of split, but because of that skirt the boy wearing, it kind of hinder him a little bit. We got the knee joint go double down. The ankle does pivot and hinge, of course. You get a little calf and boot rotation if you want, but there's a lot of things you can like. Oh, well, I was going to pop the head off to show you the ball hinge, but I figured I'd not do that. I suppose overall, I do enjoy the way it came out, and I just wanted to show you the articulation purposes just to kind of compare it to a regular Marvel Legends, because it does move the same way if you ever want to get it in some cool poses.
Shadow Clan member number 3 on the Hyperion body, the 4th biggest from the clan if you include Spider-Man. And I like this figure a lot too. If you want to make yourself one of these, all you need is a young Thor or any Hyperion body, but this is young Thor from the legs, you can tell, the wristbands and that waist string. Arms are also young Thor, that was flesh tone factory. And the head is Venom, just sculpted over the face, the mouth, and then repainted it. Gave him some brass knuckles that belonged to a WWE John Cena figure. Thought that looked pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. The difference between this one and the one before it was the one before it had gray pants, and he was kind of two-toned. He was soft shaded from the back to the front, if that makes any sense. He was darker in the back than he was in the front. Not much going on for him though, except his size. I like the Shadow Clan for that reason, that they're all different sizes, from Spider-Man to Bal. Spider-Man being the smallest, Bal being the biggest, this guy being the second biggest, and then the two we seen before this were average size. But not much accessories. I do have that brass knuckle. I don't know where the other one was. There was 2 of them, but I only have one right now. And we have these size that come from a Raphael figure, from an older Ninja Turtles movie figures actually. And then the sword here. Sword's the biggest sword I had, so it fit him pretty well. And the size also have big grips, so they fit well in Hyperion's, well, these open hands from this body. So they grip those sides pretty well. These sides I don't think will fit in anyone else's hands except maybe Bal, but they're not for the other 2 average Shadow Clan members. I had to utilize everything I could from that Daredevil figure, and I did keep his batons. I don't know what you call these things, but I did keep those, or that. And I thought it would look perfect. I just painted the red handles black. The string was already white, so I figured it would look cool. I'm not sure how I feel about this accessory, even when it came with Daredevil, but I think it was cool enough to use. The handle is a little loose in his hand. It seems like the grip is just a little bit big. Big enough where I feel like I could even throw this if I really wanted to. Like I could have Bal just launch those nunchucks. Let's see if I can do it. Hiya! Well, that was underwhelming. As far as articulation goes, just like the regular Hyperion body, head goes up, head goes down, left and right. You can get the shoulders up, down, double jointed elbows. You get this bicep swivel as well. These arms were not painted. They are factory. That way, those are young Thor arms. Ab crunch goes up and down. Waist swivel, you get about this much of the splits. Thigh swivel as well. Double jointed knees. You don't get a boot swivel here. Instead, you get a calf swivel. It's the only Hyperion body I've seen with this ball joint at the ankles from the young Thor body. So it's pretty cool. I don't know how effective it is or how useful it is, but I'm glad it is there. If the boot swivel isn't there. And that's pretty much it. That's all this guy has. The 2 sides, the swords, the brass knuckle, and he can use the Daredevil nunchuck thingies. What's the correct name for that? Someone comment below, because I don't want to keep calling them nunchuck thingies. It sounds dumb. This being the 3rd Shadow Clan member, and if you include Spider-Man, that's 4 guys we've already seen. Let me know which one you think looks the coolest so far. Comment down below.
Below, where you belong. I know Pounds asked you to vote for your favorite member, but if you vote for anyone other than me, and you go against me, it's off with your head. Everyone from my clan knows not to disobey me. I am Bao.
Bao, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, the leader of the clan himself. I made this using an Absorbing Man body, and the last one I used a Ultimate Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure. This was just Absorbing Man. I felt like Absorbing Man is more proportionate in size with the rest of them. He's just slightly bigger than the Hyperion, and that was perfect, where the Ultimate Goblin was very big. It was almost symbiotic, almost like very hulkish. So it was too big. I did like the way it looked, honestly, but I felt like Absorbing Man would work a little better. Sculpted the armbands and wristbands, and sculpted over the face, shaved down a lot of the egghead shape, and then sculpted over it. And because I don't have any other weapons for him, the Daredevil accessory is the only thing that I could find that works for him. I don't have any swords big enough for his hand. I have one sword, the sword that the Hyperion ninja uses, you could put in his hand as well. But I don't have anything else. Originally, the guy who commissioned this wanted me to add guns to their arms and stuff like that. And I had to tell him, I'm like, bro, ninjas don't use guns. And we kind of laughed it off and continued on what we wanted to do. But no, I was not going to put any guns on these ninjas. For Build-A-Figure, the Absorbing Man is pretty fair articulated. The head is the only issue. Can't go up and down, but it does go left and right. Ab crunch does go all the way back and all the way forward. You do get a waist swivel. You can also get a good split with this guy, so you can get some dynamic and ninja moves with Bao, with those T-ball hips. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and the ankle moves, but not so well either because of the pants. Overall, I am pretty pleased with Bao. DJ wanted me to paint black lines inside the wrist cuffs to separate each wrap for one figure and not the other. And I told him I'd do it for Bao because he was the biggest one, so he would look different, he would stand out. But then I thought it would be better if they all had a uniform look. I have an open hand with some wrapping around it that I haven't finished. These hands are not meant to pop out, but I did pop them out and reshape the pegs. Same thing with these Absorbing Man hands. You can just pop them out because I reshaped them. But I didn't get to paint it yet, and then I thought maybe it would be pretty cool to give him a black arm entirely, like black sleeves for his accessories. Seeing he didn't have too many accessories, I wanted to kind of give him black arms, because I do have a couple of these arms lying around. And I thought it would look kind of cool, but then I thought, man, I'd have to sculpt the wraps again because it just wouldn't look right if he didn't have any wraps on his wrists and they're on his hands. So I just aborted that project. But I am going to do this hand still and include it with Bao. I'm just going to have to do it in a later time. Really quick though, Absorbing Man arms are already flesh tone for the most part because his right arm has that metallic look, the silver with the black wash. So what I did was take off all the silver, and believe it or not, under the silver and black is that flesh tone. I didn't expect that. I thought it would be molded in black. This one's all flesh, so this one's good to go. But I still had to paint over it, believe it or not. These are not the same color. My flesh is as similar as I could to the factory one, but it's just a little different. You see, so what I did was take off all that black and silver, but I couldn't take it all out because it still showed in some of the creases and crevices of the arm. And so I just painted it over, and it came out pretty cool. It matched as close as almost perfect. I'm not even sure if you can tell the difference in flesh tones here, but that's all there is to this guy. But let me know what you think in the comments below. The Shadow Clan and Mangaverse Spider-Man once again revisited to the Pounds 978 Customs channel. I'm happy to do this again. I know sometimes I say that I'm not going to make the customs again, but seeing that these were in the beginning days when I first started customizing, I decided to give them another shot because I know I could do better than the previous ones. And same goes to a lot of other customs I've done in the past. I probably will do a lot of them again just to, well, not by my own will. If anybody commissions them, I am open to making them again. But for me, it's always moving on forward because there's still 100 more Spider-Man costumes to make. And you guys know we got to do them. But if you like this video and you want to see more Spider-Man customs, feel free to click like, comment down below. Let me know what you think about these Shadow Clan members. Which one of them is your favorite? And I appreciate it, guys. Everyone who subscribed, y'all the best. And for those who haven't, Y'all are cool too. I mean, I understand. I know it's hard to kind of use your thumb to hit that icon with my face on it or the red subscribe button, but you know.
But if you choose to subscribe, you the man. Yes, you. Everyone below in the comments, yes, you too. Thank you very much for showing me love. Who knew? It was ironic how we think out the box for you too, right?